Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Gridiron Gals Podcast. I am Rita, the NFL chick,
And hey, everybody, it's Chelsea, aka Chelsea's Right.
and we are almost at the midway point, Chels, for the NFL season. We are hitting week 8 of the season. And before we start having our conversations about the past weekend's games, um, you, my friend, decided to pick against my Baltimore Ravens in the game against the Lions on Sunday. And on Sunday, the Ravens not only beat the Lions, but they shellacked M&T Bank Stadium
They
with
did.
lion poo. So, what do you have to say for yourself?
Well, seeing as though I've been getting dragged ever since then, I come to you as humbly as I can and beg your mercy. I am so sorry. I was so high on the Lions bandwagon. I let it get the best. I let it get the best of me. I have betrayed my godson, Lamar, and I am and I most importantly, I betrayed my best friend, and so I apologize, friend. It will not happen again. I
It is
promise.
okay. I mean, I understand. I also was high on the Lions as well. And apparently, Lions fans were extremely high on themselves to the point where, out of the blue, they just started talking trash all week long. And it was very weird because, I mean, what did the Ravens do to the Lions? They're not even in the same conference, let alone
Yeah,
the
that's
same
not even.
division.
Yeah, I can't even remember the last time y'all played each other.
Well, they kept bringing that up about the last time that they played, which wasn't that long ago, obviously,
Okay.
because I think it was 2 years ago that they played.
Okay.
Because this Lions game is not like their out of conference game. It's the extra game
Extra.
that comes from the new lineup in terms of the
Right.
season. So a couple years ago, the Ravens played the Lions, and the Ravens won with the Justin Tucker 66-yard field goal, and the rest is history. So they still mad about that child. They was talking trash, and then the next thing they talking about, oh, we gonna bring this blue wave, which it was a nice little amount of Lions fans. I mean, not they took over the stadium, but it was too many that you would have preferred to have seen
Yeah.
in that regard.
Especially at M&T Bank.
Right.
Like that really isn't a place where other teams take over like that.
Yeah, well, they was honey. They was
They was
in there.
deep. Ooh, they was
I mean,
deep.
they was in there. I mean, again, it wasn't like, oh, they took over the stadium and like that, but it was enough. It was enough to notice,
To
I
know.
guess, that they
Right.
were in the building. But good. I'm glad that they was in there because they got to see their team get their ass whooped, and they got to be brought back down to reality. Because at the end of the day, when you start looking at the teams that y'all beat, you really didn't beat nobody except for the Chiefs without Travis Kelce, without Chris Jones in week 1. Y'all need to go ahead and take a chill pill and regroup. You'll probably still win the division, but what you're not going to do is play around about Lamar Jackson talking about, "Oh, if we can get Lamar to throw, we can win this game." Well, Lamar did throw the ball 27 times and completed 21 of those passes and whipped y'all's ass.
Ooh.
So I bet you won't be talking no more about getting Lamar Jackson to throw. Be careful what you wish for because you just might get it.
And they got it on Sunday.
They sure did.
Most
Got it.
certainly got
Got
it
it
on
good.
Sunday.
Got it good too. Another team that got it good, and I'll get to the Buffalo Bills in a minute, Chels. But another team that got it good, that to me comes off to be some pretenders, is the Miami Dolphins, who
Uh-oh.
lost to the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, what I will say is that, and we're going to talk about this later, about
Okay.
the referees and the officiating, because they were very poor in that game as well. There were a lot of missed calls. Miami had 10 penalties. The Eagles had 0 penalties. Yeah. And, one that just was so clear, blatant to me was I think it was Tyreek Hill face mask. I mean, literally right in front of the ref, didn't get called. So I'm not going to sit here and shoot Miami bail and say that the refs helped them out. But because I'm not. Um, but I will say that That's very lopsided, and there were some things that were very suspect. That being said, the Miami Dolphins ain't beat nobody good. Okay, they played the Buffalo Bills and got their ass stomped, curb stomped. Then they played the Philadelphia Eagles and lost by 2 scores. And if the Eagles really wanted to, because remember they was kind enough to not score at the end of the game once they got the first down. Luckily for them, it was only 2 scores that they lost to. So the
And one
Dolphins.
of their touchdowns was a defensive touchdown off a
Oh,
pick
that's
six.
right. It was a pick six.
Mhm,
I forgot
mhm.
about that. Thank you
Yep,
for reminding me. So when you
yep.
look at the Dolphins, when you look at who they beat, because they ain't really played nobody. Are they still contenders in your mind, or do you think that when they play against better competition, it gets a little murky?
I mean, I think that's fair. Fair to say. It's kind of hard to say. To talk about. For me, it's kind of hard to talk about like how many, what kind of teams you beat, just because we've seen some teams, and we'll talk about the 49ers. Like they are better than the teams that beat them. I mean, we know that, but any team can be beat. But I think Mike McDaniel, I almost called him Mike McCarthy. Mike McDaniel's gets cute sometimes. See, he one of those analytic boys, and I think that they sometimes get cute. But I do think that they may not be. We got jaded by the 70 burger. And I don't think that they are that kind of team. They are presenting themselves as the team's big offensive scores, like high flying, fast wide receivers. Everybody's quick, 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 quick. But it's not really happening like that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, listen, they did not have Xavier Howard. We know that they're
Mhm.
still waiting on Jalen Ramsey to come back. So I do understand that there is some type of situation where they're just waiting
Yeah,
to have their guys back. But ultimately, all I know is that when they've played against better competition, they've struggled. And to
yeah,
me, I mean, my thing is, Miami is what I like to consider a finesse team. And then when you play a team that's going to punch you in the mouth, are you going to be able to respond? And as of right now, they just haven't been able to do
yeah.
that.
Yep, yeah. And it's a lot of games left. It's a lot of games left. And also, that high flying offense stuff gets old in the NFL. Ask Chip Kelly about it.
Oh.
No one was some Eagles fans outside his front door after
Sorry,
the
y'all.
way he was doing.
If you
So
guys were if you guys are on the YouTube versions, I apologize. I just wanted to make sure that I am not interrupted during our podcast, and I also would like to apologize that my cat has decided that she wants to be in the podcast. I don't know why our animals do not
they don't have any respect.
they don't respect us at all. And I'm kind of fucking fed up about it because as soon as we started this podcast, the cat jumped behind me and decided that she wanted to be a part of the Gridiron Gals podcast. So I'm sorry that you guys saw my finger for a second, and I'm sorry that the cat is behind you if you are watching the YouTube version. Sorry, audio people, but I had to go ahead and call it out because it was blatant that my finger was in the video.
I didn't know what happened to my friend over there. I thought spooky season had got my girl. I said, oh, it went
Oh
dark
my
right
God.
in here.
I'm sorry. I apologize. Another team that we want to talk about that might be some pretend. I don't know if they're pretenders. I just don't think that they're consistent. And I felt this way last year, Charles. I mean, this is just a continuation of what they did from last year, and that's the Buffalo Bills. You lose to the
Oh yeah,
Jets week
absolutely.
1.
Mhm.
Jacksonville has come out to be a more formidable opponent, but at the time, Jacksonville was kind of like teetering the line of what it is that they wanted to be, and then you lose to the New England Patriots, who I mean, they ain't good. Now they still coached by Bill Belichick, so you have to always consider that, but they're not a good football team, particularly on offense. So, you know, when you look at the Bills, do you think that they're frauds too, or do they is this who they are in terms of like they're just gonna have ebbs and flows pretty much, during the season?
Oh, I just think it's who they are. I don't think that they made the presented themselves as contenders. I think everybody else did. I think everybody was really, really, really high on Josh Allen, and we're kind of stuck on that, not last season but the season before, when they went all the way to the playoffs and we had that game with Kansas City, and they didn't get the ball, and justice for Josh Allen, and blah 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 blah. I just think that people have poured way too much into him, and they aren't seeing the same return on his investments, and they're missing some pieces there. Like, they can't get the running game going. They lost Damian Harris to injured reserve now.
Yeah.
And they already couldn't get the running game going. Like, as good as Stephon Diggs is, you still need to be able to run the ball. And right now, they run the ball via Josh Allen. And you can't keep doing that. You can't keep doing that, And, again, like I keep saying about the interceptions, they come when you're rushing. They come in moments of desperation. And that is what we saw. So, they need like a bye week. They need to regroup. They need to, identify who they are. Like, a year ago, last season, we had them running away with it all. And, well, that didn't happen. So, and this season it's even worse. I think at some point they should be getting Von Miller back. But Von Miller was a factor in Von Miller's absence was a factor last year. So
I thought that Von Miller had returned recently, and I'm going to look this up.
Say that.
I'm going to look this up now. Yeah, I want to say they have him on a pitch count.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, hold on. Well, no, it looks like he's back to practice this.
Yeah, I thought it was several weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks like I thought that he had played, but and was at a pitch count, but it doesn't matter. He's going to play the pitch count anyway. It doesn't really matter. Wait a minute. No, okay. Let me look at this. I feel like so he is back on the report. He is back on the injury report. He did play. He played 6 snaps on Sunday. So he did play, but he obviously didn't play that much because he had a setback. And he's now on the injury report with a knee issue. So it doesn't matter though, Charles. Like, he was always going to be kind of put on a pitch count anyway. I mean, so you can't really rely on Von Miller.
No.
Because Von Miller can't play the majority of the snaps at this point anyway. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Ain't really nothing y'all gonna have to figure it out on your own. And they got some other injuries on defense as well. The Bills do. So that's been a part of it as well.
I think they have either a corner. I know they have another DB out.
Yeah.
And of course, Damian Harris is running back. He's out. And I don't know for how long, but they got to do something else. When you see your quarterback, Josh Allen makes a lot of errors, but he's making a lot of errors because he's trying to make up for what's missing. And that's going to happen all season.
Yep. I agree with that. So that definitely is something to watch for. They are currently 4-3 in the first half of the season. And so it will be interesting to see how their season moves along. Another team, I don't think that this team is pretenders. I do still think that they're contenders. But, hey, they are on a 2-game losing streak after losing last week against the Cleveland Browns. They lost the Monday night game to the Minnesota Vikings, in which Kirk Cousins was wheeling and dealing, honey. I mean, I was just amazed by, how much they were allowing guys in the pass game to kind of just make plays. So according to my friend Charles, she said that the 49ers have been down bad since they wore them Fuck Dallas t-shirts under their jersey. So Charles, would you like to tell the fans and tell the people of listening to the Gridiron Gals podcast your theory in detail?
Y'all know I'll put a tinfoil hat on in a minute, and I believe in superstition and curses and spooky season. And all I know is the Super Bowl predicted team that everybody says is going to the Super Bowl, and they very well may do it. The San Francisco 49ers ain't won since George Kittle put that either fuck Dallas or beat Dallas or something underneath his shirt. And yes, they beat us down to the break pass, but they ain't did nothing since. I ain't saying that you put some bad juju out there, but I'm saying that y'all ain't won. Y'all done dropped 2 games in a row for a team with that much talent.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. And ain't no way in the world. I don't care if Debo was missing. There's no way in the world that the 49ers should have gotten beaten by the Vikings. I don't care. Captain Kirk ain't that damn good. But he was looking like it last night, baby. That thing was wheeling and dealing last night. I was like, who is this man?
Oh, yes, he did. Yes, he was, honey. He was out there. I said,
Who
I was out there looking like, girl, what's going on? Because what is happening here? I swear to goodness, Kirk Cousins of all people, y'all letting go off like this. It was just very weird. And then
slanging
Brock
that
Purdy
thing, baby? He was slanging it.
slinging the rock, okay?
Wasn't
And then
scared.
Brock Purdy turned around with 2 interceptions, 2 bad interceptions
One to
that
end the
essentially,
game.
yeah, that sealed the deal in terms of them coming back. So they just
Mhm.
looked a little lethargic. I mean, I don't know, even on defense. I mean, yeah, we can sit here and talk about what Brock Purdy looked like without Debo and all of that other stuff, but the defense was the ones. I mean, Jordan Addison had 2 touchdowns before the half.
Right. So I mean, and I think did they? I know Fred Warner got knocked out of the game at some point near the end, but
Yeah.
I don't know where he is as far as his injury. But that's something you don't want to happen.
Absolutely. You hope that that is something that is
Mhm.
temporary and doesn't,
Absolutely.
require him to be out much longer, because they're going to need him because whoever number 7 is from the San Francisco 49ers, because I can't remember who that was off the top of my head, but baby, you had a hard night. And I just hope that you can forget things because they abused you a little bit.
That man said, "I ain't even supposed to be out here. Please, am I supposed to be here?"
Oh my God. I know he wanted to go home. I
Uh,
know he was ready to go home. So by the third quarter, I know he was like, Lord, please, I just want to go home.
he should have just fell out on the field. I
That's
would
what
have
I'd
just
have
fell
done.
out.
I'd have just
I
faked
just
it.
fell out.
I'd have
Hands
just,
straight up in the air.
I would have faked it, friend. I just definitely would have been like, no, I'm not dealing with any of these types of things. Because y'all not gonna have me being the scapegoat of what's going on in this motherfucker. But anyway, that's what happened. So it is what it is.
Hey Rita,
Um,
you know what you look like right now. You know that meme that people say with the lady be looking up something and she be like,
oh yeah.
what you look like? And that lady be like this. That's what you look like right now. And I was like, man, this looks familiar.
Well, we had to do this a little bit differently today because the broke bitch that I am, my laptop does not want to coordinate and cooperate. So I am doing this from my cell phone today. And so I'm using my computer, which typically, if I'm on the computer, I'm using my phone. So I'm setting up for the next part of our show. So if you see us
Yeah.
on this YouTube version and you see the up my nose and me typing, it's because, like Chell said, I'm on the internet trying to prepare while we having these conversations. So I want to apologize about uh,
That's our those these are our production secrets.
exactly. So that is what is going on today. Shout out to my phone for coming in and handling and saving the day because my computer is just stupid. Anyway, back to the NFL conversation. These refs, we got to have a conversation about these refs. It is
Oh,
terrible. It is disgusting. Every single week, they are impacting games, and it feels like that they just want to be involved so damn bad. And I am sick and tired of it. Again, I mentioned the situation in the Dolphins game where there was a clear face mask. The ref was right there, and I guess he was Stevie Wonder to the bullshit, honey, because he ain't call it. Didn't call it at all. The Browns Colts game. Now, look, whether or not y'all feel like there was illegal contact. I mean, to me, that one is a little bit debatable. But the one of pass interference and the ball is clearly uncatchable.
Yeah.
Clearly uncatchable. I mean, it is yards out of bounds. Anybody that would have caught that would not have been in bounds anyway. And so that should not have been a penalty, was called, and the referees hosed the Indianapolis Colts. Every single week, it is something. We have to have a conversation about the refs. And I don't know what the answer is, Shells, in terms of how you get these referees to be better. It is just becoming ridiculous that this is a conversation that we're having every single week. They want to be the bad bitches of the NFL so bad. And I mean, I'm just trying to understand, why do y'all need to insert yourselves the way that you do? It's not necessary.
Yeah, I the thing about it is when we our expectation for officiating is that it is uniform. It should be the same for every single game. It shouldn't be people determining which crew is officiating this day and what to expect. It should be uniform. So the first thing is that I think that they should be full-time employees. And the expectation for full-time employees, like I see them as contractors. When you're working, part-time employee, contract or whatever, but you're working for a portion of the year. They need to be full-time, and part of that needs to be like a retreat or something, like what we have to do at work. Like we all have to be doing the same thing. What are the mission of the company and all of that kind of stuff? That should be with them. They should be sitting around critiquing each other, critiquing themselves. This is a game you called. This is the penalty you called. What does everybody else think about that? And come to a middle ground of what is what. We got the eye in the sky. We got cameras every damn where. Come on, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody wants to continue to watch games where the officiating is determining the outcome of the game. Like it's deflating. It's
It
very
is.
deflating. And then on Monday, the league sends a memo down that says, "Yeah, that was wrong. My bad." Well, how does that feel to a team that lost? And then what does that mean when we get near the end of the year and it starts to have playoff implications? So like
Mm-hmm.
they need to, I mean, but I know they need to get it together, but clearly we have been having this problem for a very, very long time.
Yeah, and I just don't know what the answer is, because at the end of the day, we haven't stopped watching football as a result. So what is the penalty here? What's the real
What's,
um
there's
what's
no
the
accountability.
there's
Yeah.
no accountability, and the league is just going to be like, okay, but y'all still watching football. So
Mhm.
why do I have to do anything? Why do I have to change anything? You know
Yep.
what I mean? And
Yep.
that's the problem to me, is that there's not enough fallout from these guys not playing well. I mean, I don't feel like that they've been disciplined. Oh, you can't do the playoffs. Okay, so what? What about in the interim, like during the season? What's the penalty during the season in
Yeah.
terms of you having bad, officiating games? And that's the part that I think that I'm most frustrated about, is like, even if there is penalty, it's not till like the end of the season. I just think that that's BS. I'm annoyed by that, and I just don't know where we go from here. So it will be interesting. I would like the competition committee to come in and say, like, we this needs to be fixed. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna hold my breath either, because I
Yeah.
like living. So
Yeah.
there's that. Um, all right, let's get into some picks, friend. It
Okay.
is week
I'm gonna
8,
be
like I
real careful this week.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is week 8, like I said. By the time you guys probably hear this, Buccaneers and Bills will have played, so we'll move forward from that. Um, Jets and Giants. They're at, I mean, MetLife. It doesn't matter which one you choose. It's a home game
They're
for the
at
Giants.
home. Both are at
But
home.
both are at home, basically.
Uh-huh.
So it's a home game for the Giants, though.
Okay. Um, I I don't know how the Giants remain an enigma for me. I don't know how they beat Washington last week. I mean, I I don't know. I mean, not I don't know how, but I didn't expect it. Um, I don't expect them to beat the Jets this week, which means that they probably will. So I'll go ahead and pick them now.
If Tyrod is playing again, I'm picking the Giants. I'm gonna just say flat out, they look better when Tyrod
They look better,
is back
yeah. They
there
move that
playing.
ball faster, yeah.
Yeah, so I will go with the Giants if Tyrod is playing. If
Yep.
Tyrod is not playing, I'm flipping the script and I'm going with the Jets. So, and I'm allowed to do that because I don't have no money on this game and I can do what I want. It's our podcast. Okay? All right. So, Tyrod
You got a lot of
playing.
spice. You kind of spicy today. You got some tahine on you today.
I got some tahini on it.
That's some tahine around the rim.
Tyrod Giants, no Tyrod Jets. That's what I'm saying. I'm sticking to my story and moving right along. Jaguars play the Steelers. I do not know how the Steelers are 4-2, honey. That's another thing. We ain't even bring that up. They cheated the Rams out of getting a first down in Sunday's game because they tried to say that man got a first down. He did not get a first down. Kenny Pickett did not get a first down. I watched that replay a million times. That man did not get a first down.
The refs, they got to check these refs FanDuel and DraftKings accounts.
How about it? Let's start doing that. Because somebody had money on that game because, baby, that was not a first down.
Yeah, somebody got that prop boost.
I'm sorry, guys. I got triggered there by seeing Steelers. Completely forgot about the fact that they were another team that the officials decided to insert themselves in, and it cost potentially an outcome of a football game. So, back to us picking them, Jaguars, the Steelers. I feel like that the Steelers got lucky there. Because the football gods, but I feel like the football gods don't like ugly. I'm going with the Jaguars because I think that the Steelers, at the end of the day, should not have gotten that first down. Should have given them Rams an opportunity to get the ball back, and those refs lied. So I'm picking the Jaguars to even out the rightfulness of the football industry against the Steelers.
Well, I'm going to pick the Jaguars because after that monologue just now, I don't want no issues with you. Jaguars for me. I'll have what she's solving.
Oh my gosh. If you're not watching, Chelsea's face while I was doing this was like, wow, what is going on here?
She is a spicy margarita right now. What is happening?
Another spicy margarita. Okay. Eagles and Commanders at Washington.
Yeah,
Feels like a home game.
What be going on? But sometimes the Commanders have the Eagles number.
This is true.
However, I'm not sure that that's going to happen this week. I'll go with the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, every year, obviously last year they beat the Eagles and that was their first loss that they got last year. This time they played already and they went into overtime. So it does. But I think that the Eagles will come out with victory. But I will say that I think that the Commanders are going to fight. I mean, don't get me wrong.
They're scrappy. They're very, very scrappy.
Yeah. I think they're going to come out.
Division opponents, yes. They're very scrappy.
I think that is what it's going to be. So Rams at your Cowboys. We know Charles is not picking against Dallas. I am not picking against Dallas coming off of a bye week. The Rams they don't have enough. I mean, yeah, Cooper Kupp is back and it's cool, but they still don't have that. That line is still not good. I mean, yeah, I mean, Cowboys might. I mean, just pray for Matthew Stafford this weekend. That's all we can do. Just pray. That's all I got. Cowboys in a rout. Vikings at Packers. Now, this is the funny part, Charles. I said on the timeline last night, because somebody was like, the Vikings always end up winning like games they're not supposed to. And then I retweeted that person and said, and then they're going to end up losing to the Packers, not knowing that they were actually going to play the Packers this weekend. So, I have to stick with what I said here because I literally just said it earlier this week. So I have to pick the Packers because my logic says the Vikings beat the 49ers and then turn around and lose to the Packers. And I got to stick with my word. I'm picking Packers.
I'm going with the Vikings. I didn't speak something else into existence. I'm going with the Vikings. And it's not because they beat the 49ers. It's because I watched what Denver did to the Packers. And I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. Something like it's like I want Jordan. I do want Jordan Love to do well, but like I think it's going to take a little time. I think it's going to take a little time. Now we also don't know which Kirk Cousins is showing up.
This is very true. That's the point. That was my point.
It could be dark Kirk Cousins that we saw last night, or it could be the regular Kirk Cousins that's just like, I'm gonna close my eyes and make a wish and throw. So
Yep.
we don't know.
Very true. And that's the part that I think scares me the most. Falcons play the Titans. Titans are wearing the Houston Oilers throwback jerseys for this game. I hope that the Falcons beat the shit out of the Titans. I don't love that at all. I'm not happy about this at all. Give the Houston Texans the
Texans, yeah.
Houston Oilers
Mhm.
colors and jerseys. I think this is trash. I'm not picking the Titans. And look, Ryan Tannehill ain't playing anyway. I don't even know who's playing. Will Levis? I don't know. Malik Willis? I don't know who's playing. It don't fucking matter. I ain't picking them. Picking
I
them
think it's
Falcons.
Malik Willis, but I don't think it matters. I'm gonna go with the Falcons on this.
Falcons it is.
I mean, they just traded away their Pro Bowl corner. Like, get on out of here, y'all.
Yeah, their safety. Yeah, Kevin Byard is traded to the Eagles. I don't know what they're doing over there. You gotta wonder if Derrick Henry is next. I mean, what's going on? We don't know.
We don't know.
Patriots at Dolphins. What you got?
I'm picking the Dolphins. I think the Patriots got lucky last week. Sorry, they're just not good. They're not good.
They're not. They're not good, and they're not at home this coming week, and so I think the Dolphins do play better when they're in their own element. So I am going with Miami. Saints at Colts. What you got?
Gardner Minshew and the Colts versus Derek Carr and the Saints. I'm gonna go with Gardner Minshew.
Oh my God!
Surprise! Get Derek Carr out of my face.
I'm the only reason why I'm picking the Saints is because Alvin Kamara is on that team. I am not picking the Saints because of Derek Carr. Okay, I just want to be clear here. I'm picking the Saints because I think that Alvin Kamara is a guy that is such a hard person to figure out what to do with. And you also got Michael Thomas back that can pose us a problem. But nobody's scared of Derek Carr. Like, for the record, nobody's scared of him, man.
No.
Like, get the fuck out of here.
No.
So I am going with the Saints because of Alvin Kamara. No other reason. I just want to be clear.
All right.
Texans at Panthers. Panthers still have yet to win a football game. Meanwhile, the Texans are, I believe, in second place in the AFC South.
The Panthers have not won a game, and they won't win one this week.
Okay. Texans for both of us, please. Thank you so much. Browns at Seahawks. Browns have gotten really lucky 2 weeks in a row. The first week was against the 49ers when Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel went out of the game. And they won because the kicker for the 49ers missed the field goal. And then the bad pass interference call in the Colts game. So are they good? Are they not? What do you say? Seahawks to be in the 12th man or Browns?
And you said they're in Seattle.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going with the Seahawks.
I am going with the Seahawks as well. Bengals at 49ers. Now, I feel like a couple weeks ago, we probably was like, oh, yeah, the 49ers is rolling, and the Bengals are coming off of a bye week. So, Joey B has had a couple of weeks to kind of
fix that leg, get that leg going.
Get that leg going. 49ers have lost 2 in a row, as we talked about. So, do you give the Bengals a chance?
I need, this is one of those, I need to see the injury report. Like, I need to see, like, if no Debo, no Fred Warner, I'm going to have to go with the Bengals on that one. You can tell how much the Debo CMC duo is needed. And that's what makes the team, and that's okay. That's perfectly okay. But what I'm saying is I'm going to go with the Bengals just because. Now, if the 49ers decide to do something to lift this curse that I believe has happened, then it might be different. But until then, I'm going with the Bengals.
Okay. I don't see them losing three in a row, and that's my only reason why I'm picking San Fran, and they're at home. And so I think that they'll find a way to right the ship, probably in a close football game. Chiefs at Broncos. Girl, the Broncos. I don't know when the last time the Broncos beat the Chiefs. I mean,
I don't know what's happening. Oh, we okay. I'm gonna just go ahead and say Chiefs.
okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't see anywhere
Yeah.
where the Broncos are winning that game because
Mhm.
it is what it is. Ravens at Cardinals. Cardinals are a very scrappy football team, by the
They
way.
are. They are.
They got one win, I think, but I don't think that. I mean, it's not like they don't fight each and every week. I don't know if Kyler Murray is playing this week, but he had started going back to practice. So
I forgot all about that child. Forgot all about him. I don't know why he's out. I don't know what's wrong with the baby. I don't know anything.
he tore his ACL. Remember?
I swear to God, I did not remember that. I knew he was injured, but I did not remember what it was.
Got hurt at the end of last season.
Yeah. Oh, you think I'm gonna pick against the Ravens again? You said shut my goddamn mouth up that time. I said, but honestly, clearly the Ravens. I mean, y'all, yeah, clearly, definitely the Ravens for real.
I'm picking the Ravens. I'm not. Listen, I don't think that the Cardinals are going to lay down for sure. I definitely think that they will put up a fight, but I think that the Ravens, hopefully, they've ended their streak of playing down to their competition thus far this year. Bears at Chargers. I mean, the Chargers is back to charging again. I mean, it
They,
just
that's another one that need to do the seance or something. I don't know what need to go on there.
And
But
by
the
the way,
Bears,
this is the 8 o'clock game. I don't know when the Chargers got so many primetime games, but I want us to stop.
now who did that? Who did that?
Enough.
Who would put the
Enough.
Bears there?
Y'all want Justin Herbert to be something so bad, and I like Justin Herbert, yo, but like he ain't. It ain't not enough. So y'all got this man on primetime every other week. Enough.
This might be one of those times when you just find you a good spooky movie to watch because we be right at the end of Halloween. Say, what? 8 o'clock game. I'm just gonna pick the Bears just because I mean I'm just picking them. I don't have no reason because the Bears can get there can bear too, but
They can bear down and
they
do a
can bear
loss.
that. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I'm gonna pick the Bears.
Okay, I'm gonna pick the Chargers. I mean, but I don't love it. I don't love picking the Chargers. I think that their coach is stupid. I think that Justin Herbert ain't figured it out right yet. So I don't love it. Remember, last week I wanted to pick the Chargers, and what did I say, Charles? Last week I said I want to pick the
He
Chargers,
is a
but
fucking idiot.
I said Brandon Staley's a fucking idiot. I continue to roll with that logic, so which makes me hard to pick the Chargers. But at this point, I do think that they're a little bit better than the Bears, so I gotta go with the Chargers. Can't even say that's a home game because there are no home games for the
No.
Los Angeles Chargers
Mm-mm.
at
Nope.
this point. Raiders at Lions for the Monday Night Football game.
Girl, bye. Come on. Who plays quarterback for the Raiders these days?
I don't, girl, who played the other day? Because I was like, well, what's going on?
I don't, I don't know what's
I
happening.
think Brian Hoyer played.
Brian Hoyer. It was Brian Hoyer. Yeah,
Enough.
he had five. I think he had five completions, and all of them were to Devontae Adams. And then
That's terrible, yo.
yeah, yeah. So with that said, the Lions should get back in the groove this Monday night.
I agree. I think that the Lions get their foot back in the right direction. They're putting their feet back in the right direction as they beat the Las Vegas Raiders. All right, Charles. Let's switch to college football. We got to talk about USC here because USC is basically Oklahoma West at this point. Lincoln Riley did nothing to change his philosophy and to change his program when he left for USC a couple years ago. Took Caleb Williams with him, and once again, they have no defense. played Utah, who beat them last year, remember?
Right.
And this year, they were able to get a go-ahead score. It was some time remaining, and if you watch enough USC games, you know that was too much time on the clock for Utah. And of course, USC found a way to mess it up. Did pin them back a little bit, but then had a personal foul on roughing the passer, but then pushed them back, but then gave up a big gain that set up a field goal for them to win that game, Utah against USC.
Did you mention
So,
the 2-point conversion they missed?
yes. Oh, I'm sorry. And then they missed
Oh,
the two-point
mhm.
conversion as well. So there's been a lot of discourse about Caleb Williams and what it is that he should do. Emmanuel Achu, I don't know if y'all care enough about the things that he says, but he says
Not
a
a
lot of
lot.
things. Yeah. He says a lot of things, whether you like it or not. One of the things that he said was he feel like Caleb Williams should sit the for the rest of the season because he feels as though his stock is dropping maybe and try to do that. Now Caleb Williams is a junior, so he
Mm-hmm.
he
He can
can
come out.
come back if he wants to. And remember, there's been talks about, oh, if he don't like the team or whatever, this has just all been talk, that he can stay. But why do we think that Caleb Williams is the reason why the USC Trojans are 4-2 at this point? Caleb, he's the reason why they have 4 wins.
Yeah,
That's the
he's
reason
the reason for the wins, not the losses. The reasons for the losses is what you said, that they are. I almost said Mountain West. That they are Oklahoma West, and Lincoln Riley is smarter than every damn body. And he just figures that if we just score enough touchdowns, we don't really need a defense.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, and that's the way he was at Oklahoma, and that is what he is doing at USC. And he has outsmarted himself out of the playoffs because that's not happening. It's way too competitive to get into the playoffs with 2 losses. And you're mid-season and already have 2 losses.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. And I feel bad for Caleb Williams because he is the face of USC.
Mm-hmm.
He is the one everybody is talking about. And that there was a time when everybody just talked about Lincoln Riley, but people are talking about Caleb Williams. And I just want him to do what's best for him. I know that his dad was like, we ain't coming out if it don't look good. And I guess he don't want to go to maybe well, we were thinking Arizona, but maybe the Bears,
Mm-hmm.
or or somewhere. But what's the purpose of staying in college at this point if you're not gonna run the table?
I mean, and listen, let me break down some numbers for you. Currently, he is completing 70% of his passes. His yards per attempt is 9.6. He has 23 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and his quarterback rating is 179.4. Now, outside of the touchdowns and interceptions, because obviously the season is not over and he has, another third of games to play, he
Right.
is currently having his best year as a college football player. So I'm trying to understand why we think that Caleb Williams has moved down to anything when Caleb Williams don't play fucking defense. I mean, that defense is horrid. It is
Mm-hmm.
terrible. They
Yeah.
don't do anything. You could go out there, Chels, the way that they play, you and me. I could be the
And
D-back.
my back is trash. So I'm just gonna go out there and lay flat on the field and just hope maybe I can grab somebody's ankle or something.
And listen, I'm just over here like, nah, I'm not doing it. Y'all not gonna get me to sit there and talk about Caleb Williams as if his defense is not terrible. I don't think that his draft stock has changed one bit. Again, he's
It
having
should.
career highs. So what is it that he's done that you have to say, oh, I'm passing up on Caleb Williams? Because to me, all the stuff that we've seen, like people try to attack his character, ain't been enough for me.
No, it hasn't been enough. And also, let's not act like the pickings are we have these grand pickings when it comes to good quarterbacks. Like there's a reason why quarterbacks keep getting drafted high, and we see what happens. Like we see just a Justin Fields then and a Justin
Yep.
Fields now. Honestly, we see maybe a Bryce then and the Bryce now. Like we can't really tell what's going on. So I don't think that that's going to happen at all. And also, people need to stop listening to the talking heads when it comes to draft stock. The
Completely
draft
agree.
only means anything to NFL GMs. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
They are
Mm-hmm.
the final say. They have their own scouts. The scouts go out. They make these determinations. These scouts, you don't know their names, but they are very highly, highly intelligent people. Stop listening to these people that are getting paid to be inflammatory on TV when you're talking about draft stock and all of this kind of stuff. Like, I mean, if it drops, it drops. If it and usually when people's draft stock drop, it's something that we don't really know about, but they know
Yeah.
about.
Yep.
You know, so I stop to listening to them. They're, you know, your GM, you have to trust your team, trust your GMs. Those are the ones that make the decisions about that. And ain't nobody that need a quarterback gonna see Caleb Williams and be like, well, USC went 6-6. So I don't know draft.
Knowing damn good and well it ain't Caleb Williams' fault that they 6-6. Please leave
Hell
us
no.
alone.
Please. So
Please.
yeah. And y'all know not to listen to Manuel Acho anyway.
Exactly. Please. Enough. I don't know if you guys saw this on social media, but Michigan State played Michigan this past weekend. And this shit was wild, Chels. They were doing some trivia. And I saw it. I saw the tweet where somebody posted it, and I retweeted it on my timeline, where there was some trivia. They asked questions, and apparently Hitler was used. Hitler was a trivia question during halftime at the Michigan State game. But there's more to this story. Charles, tell the people the rest of the story about the people that were responsible for putting that information up there.
So apparently the staffer who thought that the answer to the trivia question being Hitler and putting Hitler up on there, you know, was funny. Now they're digging. The person has been suspended. So apparently he's been out here. I don't know if he's scamming or he's buying like all of these tickets up to other games or something. Like, what is? I gotta look and see exactly what it was, but it came across today. I think he bought like 10 tickets to like non-conference games or something like that. And I don't know if he has some kind of are there restrictions on staffers? Like, I don't know what he's doing, but they're continuing to like dig up information on him. Also, what they're trying to do is distance themselves from him. But he worked for you, and you guys have to.
We having two. Okay, we gotta stop because we having two different conversations.
No. The staffer
You're
is not
talking about the Michigan staffer, and I'm talking about the Michigan Hitler man.
It ain't the same person.
No.
Well, what the hell they got going on at Michigan State? I thought it was the same person. Michigan State is in hell. Wait.
I was like, wait a minute. You're talking about the man that got caught cheating. Right?
That's not the same person. You mean tell me that Michigan State is on their third scandal of the year?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I can't keep up.
Listen,
I can't keep up.
You know what's sad about this is that both programs are going through shit right now to the point where we are just mixing them in the pot. Michigan State. We don't know which one it is and what's going on around here. So, I can't even be mad at you at that moment. But I was listening to you talk and I said, oh, she's talking about the Michigan Stafford guy. that was buying tickets.
I'm sorry, Michigan State, y'all aren't on your third scandal. You're on your
second.
Yes,
they are.
Well, Michigan has 2. So y'all are tied up 2-2. Because your coach put himself on restriction for the first 3 games in Michigan. And now y'all got to, I swear, I thought it was the same dude. I was like, well, this dude is mighty busy out here. He is out here putting up Hitler. And hey, any other time we would edit this out, but this is funny.
It's hilarious. I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? I was like, what's happening?
I just knew. I feel like I told you earlier today, was like, girl, you know, they done dug up some more stuff on that Michigan State.
Yeah.
All right. So we got the coaches from Michigan State are acting up, and now we got staffers from both schools acting up. So,
so what happened was,
okay,
they believe, Michigan State believes an unnamed employee was the person that did it, not the guy that's been going around sneaking and stealing plays and
not
stuff.
The ticket scammer. Okay,
no. So not him. So they believe that they have the person that was responsible. They suspended that person with pay. You know, that person is under investigation. So what happened was,
investigate?
I mean, yeah. So
are they trying to find out if he's really a Nazi? Is that what they're trying to do? I mean, it was a trivia question, and this picture. I'm gonna be honest with you. When I saw the picture, I thought it was AI because I don't trust nothing now.
Honestly, me too. Me until numerous people came in and said, "No, I was there. That happened." I thought that somebody made that up too. I definitely thought that was photoshopped or AI. The context is that they asked, the quiz question was asking where his birthplace was. Which, why do we give a fuck about where Hitler was born? Okay, he's a fucking terrorist.
What? That was the question.
Like, why? It was before the game, not during halftime. By the way, I apologize.
Anyway. Why y'all playing anyway? Football is on.
Y'all gotta stop giving these people jobs. Y'all gotta start doing background checks on people to do stuff like this, because everybody wants their moment. Everybody is out here looking for their moment, okay? And they willing to do it at any cost. And I would not be surprised if soon that person goes on TikTok talking about, oh, I was the one that did it. I just thought it was funny. It was a joke. This shit wasn't funny, bro. And you won't get fired. You gonna lose your job.
Well, and then also, like, we have a bit of an anti-Semitic issue going on.
Yeah.
You know, like, is that what you want to do right now? Where was Hitler born?
Who gives a fuck where Hitler born is? Where is Hitler now? The answer, in hell.
I'm sorry. I'm still stuck on the fact that I thought this was all the same people.
You was like, yeah, because the man was stealing signs, and I was like, hey, it's a different story. It's a shame. People in Michigan, get y'all's universities together. We over here blurring lines because y'all got scandals going on left and right. We don't know which one is which at this point.
Right. Yeah, y'all are confused me. Y'all know we got a lot going on.
Jesus Christ. Come on now. Anyway. I'm glad we cleared that up, Fred. I'm glad that we have an understanding now that Michigan
I'm glad you cleared it up for me, because I'm thinking this man is a terrible person, and we just finding out when you put this picture of Hitler up.
I'm glad we have an understanding that it was not that guy. It was somebody else. It was somebody from Michigan State and not from Michigan. Speaking of people that's in trouble, Kevin Sumlin, former Texas A&M head coach, and I think Arizona, right? Or Arizona State, which one of them he went there after, was arrested in Florida for DUI. And Maryland, he is the co-offensive coordinator for Maryland, was on a bye week. And so he got arrested basically on his day off. So Charles and I had a conversation about this because this is pretty complex for me. A lot of times I think what happens is people tend to lose their jobs over things like this, and I understand why. I mean, you particularly like a program like Maryland, who dealt with a player death, they really probably are toting a line
Mhm.
on what it is that they're able to deal with and what they're not, because they're still dealing with the backlash from Jordan McNair's passing away under DJ Durkin. But I don't know if losing his job is, what is that going to do? How does
No.
that help him? How does that help the program? I just don't know what. I mean, suspended, maybe. Okay, losing his job, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. Am I too soft on Kevin Sumlin here?
So yeah, well, no, not too soft. And I'll tell you, the first of all, I was very, I did not like seeing that mugshot. Like I felt I was sad about that.
Yeah.
But the first thing I thought about is the fact that he is a great college football coach. Um, and he has shown that he is a great college football coach, yet he is not a current college football coach. And the person who replaced him is doing a worse job than he did. But that person, we're not, they've thrown so
Oh, so
much
you talking
money.
about Jimbo Fisher? I mean, you just not gonna call him by the name? Oh, all right. I'll
Uh,
do it for you.
okay, thank you, Frank. Um, Jimbo, I hate his name real bad. I hate saying the name Jimbo. Anyway, but he's and they threw the bag at Jimbo, and Jimbo said, "Thank you very much, and I'm going to be as mediocre as I possibly can." And so I think about that, and you think about like what black coaches that have to watch this, like how they feel. That's the first thing I thought about is, I wonder, is he always been alcoholic, or has it been these shifts in his life, and that wanting to do something at a high level? Like Kevin Sumlin, what was a coach of Texas A&M, and now he is a co-offensive coordinator. What?
Yeah.
You
Who
sound
basically Jimbo Fisher has the same amount of wins and losses in this during the same time of Kevin Sumlin's first, whatever days. At the point that Jimbo is now, Kevin Sumlin had the exact same record.
yep.
So I mean, he went from a guy who had Johnny Manziel, remember,
Mhm.
and gave us the excitement of that, to, like you said, being a co-offensive coordinator, not even the full offensive
Full
coordinator.
offensive coordinator. And I also thought, well, is he part of the reason why Maryland went, what, 5-0 their first 5 games? You know, but like that's the first thing I thought about. So I hope that this is an opportunity for Kevin Sumlin to get the help that he needs, and to get some support, and that this is not the nail in the coffin for his career. And just like we said about black college coaches and NFL coaches, like they deserve another chance.
Yeah, and it is not lost on you or me, Chels, that there have been other coaches who have had issues with alcoholism, and now they're coaches of one of the more prominent college football programs in the country. So if they're not able to, you know, be too far behind in terms of their developments, and they get a setback or whatever, I hope that the same grace is being held to Kevin Sumlin. You know what I mean? Because um, I'm sure Steve Sarkisian is a nice guy, but it doesn't change the fact that Steve Sarkisian had an alcohol problem, a well-known alcohol problem, and still had jobs at good programs,
He
including
was
now
at
at Texas,
Alabama. Yeah.
at Alabama. He was out west at
Alabama.
one point. So
Yep.
I don't wanna, if he can do it and we can sweep that under the rug. I'm not suggesting we sweep what Kevin Sumlin did under the rug. I'm suggesting that someone gets Kevin Sumlin some help. But I'm saying that him losing his job might make things worse than make things better. So
Right.
if
Right.
Steve Sarkisian can get all these chances, why can't Kevin Sumlin? That's basically
Mhm.
what we're asking.
Right. And you mentioned DJ Durkin, and we know all of. I mean, I think a player's death and abuse of players is pretty significant. He's the defensive coordinator at where? Texas A&M.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So like they get these chances, they just change clothes and show up somewhere else. So
Mm-hmm.
I hope that grace is extended to Kevin Sumlin. He deserves to be on the sideline with the headphones on, making the decisions.
I completely agree with you. All right, real quick, let me give you the breakdown of the top 10 for the week. So we know that the competition committee will start their final fours after next week. They started in November. So we
Yeah,
won't get it yet. But
November.
this
Yeah.
is the top 10 that we have. We number at number. Let's start from the bottom up, Chels. At number
Okay.
10, we have Penn State, who lost to Ohio State this past weekend. At number 9, we have your Alabama Crimson Tide, who
Oh,
is
back in the
back in
top
the top
10.
10.
Watch out.
At number 8, we have Oregon. At number 7, we have Texas. Don't love it. I absolutely think that Oregon is better, but whatever. Um,
Absolutely. What?
Number 6, we have Oklahoma, another program. Both Texas and Oklahoma barely got out of with
Last
wins
week.
on Saturday's game, so that's
Yep.
why I think Oregon is better than both of them. Washington is at 5. Got to bring them down. They struggled last week, and didn't even score 20 points. And I think I love Michael Penix, but I think he had a bad day. Couple picks, just didn't look good.
I think they scored 14 points. Something
I'm
like that.
good with flipping Oregon and Washington here. So I would put Washington at 5, Oregon. I
At
mean,
8.
excuse me, Washington at 8, Oregon at 5. I think that
Uh-huh.
that's ideal. Number 4 is Florida State. Number 3 is Ohio State. I'm about to throw up in my mouth, but I think that Florida State is better than Ohio State. So there's that.
Mm.
But I'm never going to champion for Florida State to be ranked high because fuck them. Um, number 2 is Michigan, cheating asses. And number 1 is, of course, the Georgia Bulldogs. So
Okay.
that is what we are looking at in the top 10. I gave you where I think people should go as we moved along. I think that Washington is still ranked too high after barely squeaking out of a win. I think, I understand that why Oregon is below Washington because they beat them.
Because they
So
beat
maybe not,
them.
maybe that's not it. But I think that you got to put Oregon right under Washington, at least. And Oklahoma and
Definitely
Texas got to
better
go
than
there.
Texas and Oklahoma.
Yeah, yeah. That's basically what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say.
Well, y'all know, y'all already know what to do about these rankings. You know, they just do this so that we can fight each other. So
Exactly.
it's arguing time. That's all.
It's well, next week will be officially arguing time as we start doing the final fours and who's going to stay where, and basically that's going to go. So as of right now, the top 4 is Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, and Florida State. So we'll see. One of my favorite things is Dabo Sweeney is not listed on these lists, so I'm enjoying all of that. We are very anti-Dabo over here, so.
Anti.
Yeah. All right, games this weekend to watch. 8 Oregon at 13 Utah. We just saw Utah pull out a win against USC.
I'll be there for that.
Oregon to me is a prolific offense as well, but they got defense. So I'm, Utah. Hey, thanks for playing. I think it'll be a good game. I just don't see a win coming out of that one. That's me personally. Georgia and Florida. Now, yes, Florida is not ranked, but they are 5-2. Georgia is down. Bowers, their tight end, their best prolific player, is going to be out for the rest of at least the regular season for college football. So this is interesting to me. This is an interesting matchup because Bowers, who I love, by the way, and fuck Georgia, of course, but I do love Bowers. I mean, I got to be clear on my loyalties here.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love Bowers, but I don't know if you've been watching Georgia games, Charles.
Oh, I have. They don't look like they did last year.
They ain't world beaters. And I'm not suggesting Florida's going to beat them, but if they stay within Georgia has not covered a few times this year already.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And they've started slow a couple of times this year. So
if y'all let my man Murder Mertz get the moving, I'm telling you, it's gonna be interesting around here. So,
Child, I don't even know if I'm gonna get on this podcast with you if Florida be Georgia.
hey, I'm gonna tell you now.
What?
We're gonna have to invite George Foster because I'm gonna have to. If
Oh Lord.
Florida beats Georgia, I'm going to be annoying for a week, and I need to invite George Foster onto the podcast so he can explain to me what the hell happened. I need to hear from the Georgia Bulldog himself what happened if Florida finds a way to beat Georgia. Better not let it happen. I tell you that. Better
Oh
not
my
let it happen. Better not let it
child.
happen.
It's
Mm.
gonna be something else. You talking about the internet breaking. You talking about the internet breaking. Do you know how many new Florida fans there will be? How many people just want Georgia to lose? Oh my God.
So
That will be
I'm
crazy.
interested. I'm interested in that. That's where I'm at. I am definitely interested in this matchup. So I will be tuned in because everybody knows I'm a Gator fan. Duke plays Louisville. Duke played Florida State really tight, and they lost one of their big players. And then after that, Florida State kind of took over. But
Hmm.
they made that a good game last weekend. So that is an interesting matchup. Is there anything that you had seen that stands out to you? Those are the ranked games.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I mean, those are, yeah, we're pretty much on the same page with the ranked games, but usually on game day, I take a look at the full schedule because you can find some gems to watch. There are some unranked or teams that are not on your radar, but they are playing well. So, and we saw a little bit of that last weekend, like Virginia beating UNC.
yep. Oh, facts. I forgot all about that big
Yeah,
upset. That
yeah.
was
Oh,
huge.
big upset. Virginia was 1-5.
Yeah. Yep.
And
They had only won
UNC was
one
five
game.
and zero, yeah.
Yep.
And I was, so and that of course the UNC is ranked, so that will come up on the on the rank side. But sometimes people don't pay attention to games when they just know it's a guaranteed win. But maybe not.
I would like to drop a gem for the Colorado Dick Riders. I definitely think that the UCLA game is interesting. That
Are
is a
they
game
still
that,
around?
huh?
I feel like the Buffalo bandwagon has calmed down a lot.
I don't know if it's calmed down or they just have been silenced because they don't have, Stanford. You losing to Stanford, that's nasty business. I don't give a
Yeah,
fuck who you are. So
okay. So
I
you
think that
think
that's.
they just
But I
chilling?
would like to say that there is hope here because UCLA's offense isn't that great. Now, their defense is pretty good. Their offense, not so much. So there's hope that you can potentially get a fifth win here this weekend. The problem is that they are at UCLA, so I don't know. It might be, home field advantage might take place here, but I am not sold on UCLA at this moment. And if Colorado coming off of a bye, is, is
Mhm.
is getting healthy or whatever, this could be a very interesting matchup. So to all you Buff Dick Riders, that one is for you.
Well, tell them what time they play because they don't know how to find that.
It's 7:30. It will be on set, so you will be able to watch it, and it won't be late.
There.
So hopefully, you won't be falling asleep on that game. Um, we'll see how that goes. So yeah, that's where we are with the college football. Chels, is there anyone that you would like to throw into the volcano this week?
Actually, yes. So this week it will be a non-celebrity. So after the USC game, who did they play again? I forgot.
Utah?
Utah. Yeah. I was thinking Notre Dame, but that happened the week before.
Yes.
Back to back losses. Anyway, um, the young man that ran out on the field and took the selfie with Caleb Williams, against his will,
Mm-hmm.
he needs to go in the back. Hey, get the fuck away from people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's
Yep.
not funny. It's not a prank. Get the fuck away from people. Where is the
Mm-hmm.
sheriff at?
Mm-hmm.
The police out there on the field. I know I always see the coaches flanked by police officers. Why y'all letting somebody that's not a regular student. Caleb Williams is a Heisman Trophy winner, probably going to be a first round draft pick. Why y'all just letting Gen Pop run up on him and put him in a position against his will, taking a selfie with him to mock him for a game that they lost against your team.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Somebody got to answer for that. Like, and listen, I understand students have fun. I'm always like, yeah, storm the field. I know that that's a safety risk as well, but whatever. But like you running out there, just think of, and it probably was a 15-20 second thing, but to you just imagine going up to somebody and trying to take a selfie with them and they don't want to take a selfie and you don't know them. So that dude got to go into the volcano. And I hope that the university finds out, that they identify him and that there is some kind of repercussions for what he did. Like, you can't be doing that to people. Y'all know what this is. Y'all know this ain't no high school football. That's Caleb Williams.
Now, if Caleb Williams punched it in the mouth, we would be having the conversation about Caleb Williams. Oh, as out of line. He, that man, and he wasn't going to do nothing to him. Y'all don't know these people.
And if he felt like
right, and if he felt like he was in danger, he has every right to defend himself. So y'all are lucky he didn't do anything to that young man. Because if I were Caleb Williams, I'm knocking that motherfucker out. I'm telling you now.
And if Caleb Williams didn't have as much to lose as he does.
Yep.
You could tell by the way he talked about it after the interview that he was just like, yeah, it happened, blah, blah, blah. I said, oh, yeah, you was ready. Yep. You was, listen. So, yeah, that young man needs to go into the volcano. Goodbye.
All right, we putting that young man in the volcano. I'm putting Antonio Brown in the volcano.
Oh, child, please.
I don't know if y'all saw, he posted a tweet earlier that was, first of all, who illustrated this tweet, this picture? That's what I want to know. It's a picture of him in a Steelers jersey running away from a white woman with money coming out of his pocket, and it said "fuck child support." So first of all, who came up with the picture? Okay, because it is very accurate.
It is extremely accurate.
It was a white woman. We know that he loves his white women. And it was him in that Steelers jersey, because that's the one. That's, look, we know that he played and won a Super Bowl as a Buck, but we're always going to remember him as a Steeler, and that's just what it's going to be.
Child, I completely forgot of. That's when he walked off the field, right?
Yeah, yes, he walked off the field, with his shirt off, and basically said, "Fuck y'all, I ain't coming back." But ultimately, we remember him as a Steeler. I mean, and my thing is, it's like, you're saying fuck child support. Well, just take care of your children. I mean, you're probably downtown because you're a fucking nutcase, and you probably don't pay. If you didn't have child support, you probably wouldn't be out here really supporting these damn kids anyway, because you got one half of a brain at this point. You
he don't pay nobody else either. He didn't pay his.
That's exactly right.
He ain't paying nobody. Exactly. And the funny thing about the little cartoon meme thing, a drawing, is that it probably was supposed to be mocking him, and then he posted it, and he means it in a different way. He probably too stupid to know that they was making fun of him.
Yep, exactly.
So guess who don't care about that though? The judge.
How about it? You better pay that damn child support, or you will continue to go to jail until you.
And you can be in jail talking about something. Whatever the hell that is, left, right.
Pay that motherfucking child support, bro. We don't want to hear none of that shit. Get in the volcano, stay in there. We don't want to hear from you no more. You a scammer too, with that whole situation with the football team.
Oh yeah.
You don't want to pay them bills. You don't want to pay nobody's bills. You out here Donald Trump and motherfuckers hiring people for services. You don't want to pay them. Get your life together, bro. Get it together and pay your fucking child support so your children can have some stability.
He don't care about them kids. He only cares about him.
Yep. Facts on facts. So put him in the volcano, put the lid on it. Let's move along. All right. We want to thank you all for listening. Before we go, do you have any final thoughts, Chels?
I just one final thought. I just want to say that y'all be safe this weekend. I know it's Halloween weekend and all of that kind of stuff, especially if you live in highly populated areas. People can act a little crazy. So listen, it's spooky season. Y'all enjoy spooky season.
Apparently, Aria is enjoying spooky season as she is in the background.
Aria showing her ass only because she know I can't get up from this. But baby, the moment I hit stop recording, we gonna dance tonight. Because what in the world? That's all right. I want her to enjoy the carrying on, but yeah, be safe. Especially like I know my city is off the chain right now, and I just will say, hey, if y'all are within earshot, just be safe out there, Halloween, and you know all that good stuff.
I can't say anything better. I don't have anything to add, so I'm with you. Please be safe out there this weekend. Just make sure that you are keeping your head on a swivel, as like we would like to say,
Hey, well,
um, and just and enjoy yourself. But make sure that you are having a safe time and a good time as well. So we will be back next week, of course, to follow up with the new stories about our favorite and your favorite NFL teams and your favorite college football teams. We want to thank you all for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.